Hello, and welcome to Cosmere Conundrum. I'm your host, Nemo,
And I'm Roman.
and together we are wandering our way through the first book of Mistborn, The Final Empire. So today we'll be discussing...
At some point, I'm going to get you to write out a proper intro.
Maybe, when the time comes. Anyway, today we are going to discuss chapters 18 and 19. And these are some interesting chapters. I mean,
They're
things
not
happened.
Exciting chapters,
Mm-hmm.
but they are good chapters.
Yeah, things happened. That's about it.
The plot progresses. It's not like nothing happened.
Yeah.
Like 18 is a pretty long chapter.
Mm-hmm.
It's more like we don't need action. And considering Vin is still injured, good.
Yeah. I mean, she would definitely like to have some action.
Oh, she would love to have action.
Yeah.
Maybe not the Inquisitor level of action, but
No.
she'd like some action.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll see where she goes. Chapter 18 begins with Vin arriving at the ball at Keep Ilariel. And she looks around and sees the ostentatious selves of the nobility and feels a bit nervous, but then composes herself rather quickly.
Yeah, nervous and very self-conscious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Caesar tells her that she looks nervous, well, less nervous than before, and more confident this time around. And Finn feels excited to be a part of the job again, no matter whether she likes this part of the job or not.
I think that at the end of this chapter, she does.
Yeah, at the end of the chapter, she does, definitely.
She would still deny it, but she does.
Yeah. We learned that Keep Ilariel has a dedicated ballroom, which is very different to Keep Venture, which had a very grand hall and held the ball in there.
It almost feels like Venture likes to hold more formal events, like formal gatherings of family or something like that. Whereas Ilariel very much is like, we do this for connection.
Yeah, I mean, as it's mentioned, the ballroom itself is very private, very cozy, because you have multiple tiers of like seating, and those are particularly darker compared to the dance floor itself, which obviously gives you enough privacy to talk with whoever you want without being spotted, really.
It might also be Venture might be in all the house. It might just be in all the keep.
Yeah, that could also be the
and
case.
When their keep was built, it wasn't the fashion to have a ballroom. Yeah. And considering what we know, there's probably not... I would say there's limited space, but they probably wouldn't have that much trouble destroying some of the slums.
Yeah, that seems very much in line with...
But it might also just be a thing of, we have this gigantic hall, we may as well use it.
Yeah, definitely. Caesar then obviously tells her that she has to accept the dance invitations of the people tonight.
Oh, yes.
And it'll make it easier for her to mingle with and then spy on their conversations, basically.
Yes, and part of that plan goes wrong about 5 seconds later.
Yeah. I mean...
Admittedly, nothing Caesar could do about that.
Fair.
Nothing Vin could do about that.
No, but Vin very much wants to to happen, whatever happens next.
Yeah, but to be fair, what happens is, oh yes, I'm sitting here, I'm just wondering if Ellen is there. Because Jesus Christ, she has a crush. Yeah,
and Ellen immediately drops in on her and dumps a pile of books.
She's literally thinking about how he said he avoids balls, and then there's just a thunk.
Yeah, very much.
And there's a pile of books.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, then
it's not so minor. It's not a minor sets of books either. From what I could guess, they're pretty much that big.
Mm-hmm. That would make sense. I mean, especially given it's like earlier printing technology, the papers themselves would be quite thick compared to what we have today.
I mean, she literally mentions later about lettering, the letter sizes.
Yeah.
Which, yes, congratulations, you've discovered why it's a pain in the ass to read medieval manuscripts.
Yeah. Vin immediately gets annoyed that he's not acknowledging her, and says that...
Which, fair enough, he just dumped a stack of books on the table. and just starts reading.
Yeah.
Not taking it's from this where I can confidently say that what Kelsey says at the end of chapter 19 is wrong.
Yeah.
Not completely. It's not completely wrong, but I do feel he's wrong, and it's gonna bite him.
Maybe. That would definitely, like, especially it is the cause of contention between like Kelsey and Ben.
Yes, it's a thing of we need friction between our main characters.
Yeah.
But also I feel like Kelsey's insistence on just completely avoiding the nobility will definitely come and bite him in the ass.
That would make some sense, yeah. How would you say it goes badly for him?
I feel like having not even a hint of influence amongst the actual nobility, even amongst those sympathetic to the Scar, is not a smart move.
Yeah, I mean, usually
he's not willing to even consider the idea of a sympathetic nobleman.
Yeah, I mean, usually you want to have some representation in all walks of life so that you have some influence over everyone, basically.
And you don't even need to make sure they're aware of it, but it's like you're going to go for household and you have the one noble. We'll get there at the end of chapter 19, and I'm a little annoyed at Kelsey.
Yeah, I mean, we can have an entire just conversation about Kelsey and his ideas about nobility.
His morality and ethics are non-existent.
Yeah. Vin obviously then tells Ellen that this is no place for books and says that immediately goes and starts arranging them on the floor. To which Ellen...
on the floor.
Ellen,
still neatly. He's still a terraceman.
Yeah. Ellen takes a dig at him and Vin obviously defends, says it, which finally gets Ellen's attention.
Vin outright, honestly, almost blows a cover with that line.
Yeah.
He is a good friend. Probably not what most noble people would say about their terraceman servants.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what gets Ellen's attention when he finally apologizes, but still goes back to reading.
Yeah, because she outright defends says it. And it's also the fact that I'm sorry in a frank tone. That's enough for me to say, yeah, he does mean that one.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense.
He did not mean to insult, says it directly. He just doesn't like terracemen because they do things he doesn't like them to do.
Yeah, I mean, he has grown up around terracemen, and usually, like, if what we learn about Ellen is true, that he's trying to do these things basically to, I guess, go against his father, and if he has a terraceman, that will probably listen to his father, so he doesn't really like terracemen in that sense as well.
I mean, I genuinely think it might come from the fact that his father's terraceman keeps poking around his stuff.
That would make sense. Finn again feels annoyed that he isn't talking to, so she confronts him directly about not telling her his identity. And he remarks that his adventures are annoying and he's trying to live up to it.
And she's just said, "You're the one who made up that description."
I mean, he does say he's trying to live up to it.
Well, even then he says, "Convenient that."
Yeah, he then compliments Vin, and Vin is entirely flustered after that.
But the thing is, what we get slightly later in the chapter, I do think he actually does mean it as well.
Yeah.
He knows what kind of reaction she's going to give, but he does mean it.
Yeah, I do think so as well, yeah.
Because his outrage later on over a single comment kind of tells me something. I'll get to it when we get to it.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Says It is very annoyed, but obviously doesn't say anything, though he doesn't hide it either. And
Says It can't do a thing. Ellen is too important. He can't do a thing.
Yeah. And then Vin and Ellen again go back and forth for a bit, where Ellen basically says that he is known to be rude, and so he doesn't mind scolding his date for the night that his family arranged.
Yeah. To be fair, there is an interesting thing where we later learn that he's engaged, but he's not engaged, and it's very odd how that situation is, because he's not sure. But Kelsey knows it's a former situation.
Yeah. I mean,
he might not. He probably knows because he's being set up with other women. But he's never been officially told that the betrothal is off.
Probably, yeah. I mean, that's also why we later see Shan Ilariel being just like nosy.
A haughty bee-bird?
Yeah. Anyway. Ellen then leaves to get a drink, and Sazed takes this opportunity to tell Vin that Ellen really isn't interested in her and is only sitting with her to annoy his family. Basically what everyone is saying to Vin, that Ellen is playing with her, basically, in a way. Vin also thinks that Sazed is probably right.
She does think so, but it doesn't make her feel right. No. That she feels a stomach twist.
Yeah.
Which is like, yeah, that makes sense. She does not want to believe it.
She does wonder if Ellen is really using her, because to her he doesn't seem the kind to do so. And I'm thinking, when you have only really known Ellen for 5 minutes at this point in two meetings.
5 minutes, but that is literally what a crush does.
Yeah.
And that's also just everything. Finn is very good at seeing what people are thinking.
Yeah, her intuition is really good. We do know that from the previous chapters.
But we also see it later in this chapter.
Yeah. Then again, Finn doesn't really talk to Ellen for a very long time, at least in trying to annoy him back, basically.
Unfortunately, we do get an interruption of everyone's least favorite character, Reen.
Yeah. I have stopped mentioning Reen in my summaries because he shows up at the most annoying times.
Yes, but it is an important thing to note because it's outright.
I mean, that is basically her backstory.
Everyone will betray you, and an immediate next thought that Ellen seems genuine.
She's trying to fight back the words that Reen basically taught her.
She does not see anything Ellen does as a front, and she's very good at spotting it when people are putting up a front.
Yeah.
That's a very... So he's seemingly not putting up an act in front of her.
I mean, he might have started it as a way to annoy his family, but he quickly pivoted from it after having a conversation with Vin last time.
Yeah, the first time around it was definitely a thing of, could I use you for something? And then he realizes she's actually interested in some of the things. Just in that short conversation. And then she doesn't appear for 6 weeks. Which probably doesn't help.
Yeah.
But I do like the next section quite a lot, because it gives us a very good indication of how freaking big the Empire is.
Yeah.
The idea that it takes half a year to travel from one end to the other, that's Roman Empire levels of big. And from the map, there is no massive sea in between, which helps you travel.
Yeah, it's mostly on land travel, which makes sense.
Which makes sense why the canal stuff is revolutionary.
Yeah. Ellen obviously asks her why she is in Luthadel and how the final empire is so big, yet people only focus on Luthadel and so on. Vin...
It's like the French in Paris.
Yeah, sort of. Vin does say
that is a very good example of it, how an empire focuses only on its capital. Later evolved countries definitely didn't have it, but a lot of the older empires very much put all their energy in their capital. Britain did it, France did it, Spain did it.
I mean, that would make sense if, the travel times, as we know, are quite large. So might as well just put all your efforts in the place you're actually living at rather than putting it at outskirts.
Take a look at the largest cities in Europe, and in general, they're going to be the old capitals.
Yeah, very much so, yeah.
St. Petersburg and Moscow are still very big. They're both former capitals. London, Paris, Madrid, Berlin, Rome. And Istanbul is the outlier in that it's no longer the capital.
Yeah.
So empires will act even more so An empire that really did too much to focus on its capital is the Ottoman Empire. If they lost Constantinople in World War One, the war would practically have been over for them because that was their industry.
Yeah. I mean, it was also like a big chunk of their economy, given how the Straits
that's the thing. They put everything into... Basically, if we think about it in game terms, in Europa Universalis 4, all the development had gone into the capital, and nothing had gone into the countryside.
Anyway, Vin does say that Luthadel is dirty and the Scar are treated terribly, to which Ellen perks up, finally. And
because of two things. One, it's a very odd thing for a noblewoman to say, which Vin notes that was a mistake.
Yeah.
But he's also genuinely interested in it. And it's especially interested in what she then says about the ministry.
Yeah, what the ministry teaches is basically...
Because I make it a rule to never completely believe anything the ministry says. I think at that point, Alan realizes he might have someone who could genuinely talk to him about things frankly.
Yeah, but then she tries to course correct and everything falls
She tries to course correct because, but then again, even Ellen would course correct over that matter.
Yeah, they make sense, yeah. Like, you don't really know the disposition of the other party, so you don't want to play your cards. Like,
yeah.
And yeah, even Vin is still trying to figure out what Ellen wants and does not want. So it makes sense will try to course correct. Anyway, this is also where we see the ministry propaganda basically dehumanizing the Scar, like how they are basically very low-wit people who do not measure up to like the nobility. And this is exactly what like happened even in history.
But I found it very interesting how Ellen questions Vin on if the Scar are intelligent like the nobility. And I get the feeling that he does think so. That they can be, at least.
That does think.
It feels that feels like a trick question to see what she says in order to see how far he can go. Not as in a outright, not as in an outright, they're dumb, but in a, how far can I go with you way?
Yeah, but I think as we see later on, I think it's Kelsey that tells Vin that even Ellen is doing this out of mere curiosity and less so than compassion. Or so we note at this point.
Well, the thing is, I think it could turn into compassion. Kelsey just doesn't want to consider the option of that.
Yeah.
Because when Vin basically says they're just Scar, Ellen seems disappointed.
Yeah, exactly.
That is a very big clue, in my opinion. In that Ellen is genuine in wanting to know more.
Yeah, but that's the thing. He's trying to learn this from what in his eyes is a noble woman. He's not really going
a
out
noble
and
woman
talking
from
to
outside Luthadel, and I get the feeling he hasn't had much interaction with people from outside Luthadel, even the nobility.
Fair, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
And we do remember something from the prologue about Lord Renew, was that Kelsey was spreading rumors about Renew treating his Scar better.
Yeah. And
there is no doubt in my mind that rumor hasn't filtered through to the nobility.
That would make sense. Especially like they also have their own spies in Manor Renew, and at least to them, it would appear that the Scar who are working inside the manor are slightly better kept than
they're
like
happy.
Most. Yeah,
I think the big thing is that they're happy.
Yeah,
not necessarily that they're treated super much better, but they are happy in that position, which is very different from most other Scar.
Yeah, definitely so. Then obviously Lord Melland, which is an interesting name because why would you name someone very similar to what your like one of your main character is? Anyway, Melland Lees comes and asks her to dance, and she accepts.
I think there's a point in that, Nemo. I think you know exactly why that name was picked.
Why do you think so? I don't know. I have no idea.
Because it makes it a very funny thing.
I mean, yes.
Vin does want to dance with Ellen.
Yeah.
She doesn't get to dance with Ellen. She gets to dance with melons.
Yeah. Both of them are repellent. Anyway.
Right.
Anyway, while dancing, Vin ends up giving advice to her partner more so than...
Well, this is something, again, Vin is a very quick learner, but she's also used to dealing with situations which are incredibly nerve-wracking.
Yeah, I mean, she does notice that her partner is basically as green as her in this job, except at least she has like that learning ability to learn fast and be good under pressure, whereas her partner seemingly doesn't. So she strikes up a conversation with him and asks him about Ellen, and he doesn't know much about Ellen. He says that Vin probably knows Ellen better than he does, which sort of is true, I think. Especially this guy is clearly very, very new to this balls, and the only person Ellen likes to talk to is Vin. Yeah. Also, he's from one of the minor houses, which they would have very little interaction with the major houses and their people. So makes sense. Then Vin accidentally starts a rumor.
Vin nearly throws the biggest spanner of them all into every plan regarding Renew.
Yeah.
But I will, it does work, but I find it very funny. Yeah. She basically says that Ellen is just a friend of the family and who's looking over her as she's being introduced to a new boss, basically. Well, especially implying that Lord Renew and Ellen between themselves have had communications, not between Lord Venture and Lord Renew. Yeah. Which, can't imagine Lord Venture will be pleased about that rumor.
I mean, given we do see Lord Venture later on, so given how the kind of person he is, definitely not. Anyway, we learned that House Venture has been laying low lately, especially since the attack on their keep, which makes sense.
Which does play into the stuff at the end of chapter 19 again.
Yeah, the tension between the houses are basically rising.
The tension of the house is skyrocketing already. Yeah. But also the thing about how Gal does think that perhaps the Ventures are playing everyone for fools.
Yes, that would make also sense. We also learn about Lady Shannon spreading falsehoods and rumors about Vin.
Which immediately gives you a hint, which is considering Vin has at this point attended a single ball, means she is extremely worried about this.
Yeah, I mean, given what we learn later on is the relationship between Shan and Ellen, makes complete sense that Shan would do that.
Yeah, she's not pleased.
The dance ends and Vin returns to her table to discover that Caesar is gone. Ellen has sent him to his dinner, basically. They again get into playful banter.
Fair enough.
With Vin calling Ellen old.
Yes, but not just old. But first of all, she says she told Lise about how I said something about how you were showing me the ways of court, which okay, fair enough. And then she's kind of like an older brother. Now I can tell you this much: it's written as older brother. Ellen asks, frowning. He doesn't. It sounds a bit stronger in the audiobook. Let me put it that way. I mean, it's more very much older brother.
Yeah, he's very much offended by the comment.
Yes, the comment that the thing is, the comment. His outrage is not over the older part at first. It's very much over the brother part.
That would make sense. He does find interesting.
The humor of the next bit. The humor of the next bit. Because we didn't know Ellen's age up at this point. No, so it's quite funny how it's like Oh, you must be twice my age, which would make him around in his early 30s. And the outrage in his voice is, even in the written word, is very noticeable. Because italics are used.
Yeah. Yeah, unless you're a 10-year-old.
No, unless you are a very mature 10-year-old.
Fair, yeah.
And that's very is in italics.
Yeah. She then asks...
And the offhand comment of, I've never been good with math.
Anyway.
Which, bravo. Very well done. It does disarm Ellen completely.
Yeah. Yeah. She then asks Ellen about Lady Shanel Ariel, and we then learn that he has been engaged to her for about a year. At least he thinks so.
No. Vin asks, who is she? And Ellen says, nobody important. and Vin is like, yeah, I'm not naive enough to believe that one.
Yeah, that would make sense. Vin is very good at like reading people.
Also, it's not that they've been engaged for a year. It's that they haven't done about it in a year.
Yeah, it's the same.
They've done nothing regarding it in a year.
Okay, so it might be that they were probably engaged when they were a child, especially like...
I'm not exactly sure. We haven't really done anything about the situation for a year or so.
Yeah, but like given...
I think what might have happened is genuinely, it might have been formally ended. It's just nobody formally told Ellen.
That would make sense.
Which would mean he's not certain about that position.
Yeah.
And then dancing.
Yeah. Vin then goes off to a few more dances and gets properly exhausted. So much that she has to burn pewter to like stay standing. But she doesn't do a lot of it, obviously. Other idea to give her away.
But what I find very smart is Vin has already discovered a weakness of pewter burning without having been told outright.
Yeah.
It is noticeable if you know a thing or two about pewter. There is a good chance that somebody saw her reaction and assumed she can use pewter alone. Like, they might not notice it, and nobody's paying attention to her in that way, so they might not even notice that she's burning it. But someone probably has realized it. Some might have even already clocked she's a Mistborn.
Yeah, especially given
because if they notice her pewter burning, but they don't sense the pewter burning, then they know she's burning copper as well.
Yeah, which is quite.
But it's a very smart thing it's very smart to figure it out.
Yeah, it's definitely so.
Especially because Kelsier doesn't seem to know. Kelsier doesn't infiltrate the nobility, so he doesn't realize this.
Yeah, and I don't think he has the patience enough to like think about these these minor intricacies about allomancy.
Yeah.
Anyway, then she finally returns to her table, and neither Caesar nor Ellen is there. And she pretends to read a book to like drive away all the new people.
I like how she pretends to read a book, and it's immediate, and I'm immediately just like, ooh, history.
Yeah, we do learn that Vin can read finally. We learn that she can read,
which does make sense.
Yeah, I mean, we know that Vin taught her to like pretend to be a noble woman. So obviously, reading would be a part of that.
Yeah, but historical practices in imperial political rule, a book she does describe as dry, and I'm just like, yeah.
Yeah, that would very much be up your
I literally read the Bello Gallico for a school project. I don't think I know what a dry text can look like.
Yeah.
There are parts of that book which are boring.
Yeah. But
also, this does fully confirm that this is very much a early 19th century society, mostly pretty much Regency, by virtue of how long the plantations have been around.
Yeah, about like 200 years or so?
About Yeah, 200 years-ish, if that book is relatively recent.
Yeah. We learn some very interesting things in the book, that the political system throughout Lord Ruler's reign hasn't really been stable. Yeah, it keeps changing.
It's not stagnant.
Yeah.
It's never been stagnant, which is the one big flaw immortals tend to deal with, is that their realm goes stagnant. The Final Empire has never gone stagnant.
Yeah. Which is quite surprising.
That's impressive. Like, that's just outright impressive.
Yeah.
But it falls more in line with his actual empires.
Yeah,
no empire is fully stable. I mean, she's surprised that such analytical discussions are allowed. I mean, we'll learn later why. There's no threat in this. This is just history.
Well, history also has some limits, as we learn later on.
Oh, absolutely. He has rewritten a hell of a lot. But then which empire hasn't?
Yeah.
I distinctly remember the British really liked to pretend that the Battle of Jutland was a victory and not a stalemate.
Fair, yeah.
I would like to point out which of the two navies lost more battle cruisers. It was a battle that resulted in no changes to the status quo, but there were a lot more British sailors dying in the North Sea.
Yeah. History writing has been going on continuously for the very beginning. Like, if your stories survive, you get to dictate what is being told.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason certain societies in history have always been put down as barbaric. I'm looking at pretty much every opponent of Rome.
Yeah. I mean, even Greece.
And also, there's a reason. There's a reason so much of our focus on ancient Greece is on Athens. It's the place everything got written down.
Yeah, so much has been lost. Anyway.
Don't remind me. We have multiple important sources from ancient literature where we are lucky a monk transcribed it at one point.
Yeah.
At which point we cannot tell if stuff was original or not. Because we had one source.
Yeah.
We don't know if those myths are accurate anymore. Because they were transcribed by a monk who's probably going to remove certain parts.
Remove, then add. Like, think of the entire Norse mythology. What we have from the Poetic and the Prose Edda.
You mean Icelandic Norwegian propaganda?
Yes, basically, yes. Like, Poetic Edda, not so much, but the Prose Edda, when Snorri Sturluson wrote it, he very much wrote it centering around the Norwegian king and obviously Christianity. Like one of the parts of Prose Edda is Karlskaparmal, which contains poems. I think there are 2 great poems and several other smaller poems about the kings of Norway. I'm forgetting the name of the king, but yeah, it's whoever was
It's probably a herald.
Yeah, likely. Yeah, I think so. I don't remember exactly. But yeah, so a lot of the times it really depends on who's writing it down.
Yeah, I mean, one of our best sources for the ancient tribes in ancient Gaul is the Bello Gallico, which is problematic because that's a propaganda work for Rome.
100%. So yeah,
which is also why you get some tribes are described as very brave, others not so much.
Yeah. Anyway, getting back.
Back to a book we're actually supposed to be talking about.
Yeah, Vin is soon approached by a terraceman telling her that Lady Sanil Ariel wants to talk to her, and she goes and meets her. Obviously,
yeah, she has no choice. She's very good at not creating a colossal cock-up.
Yeah, Shan outright tells Vin that Elend is using you for his game, so I'm gonna use you for mine. which is quite a strong thing to say.
Mean, obviously, Ellen is using Vin because Vin is a convenient spot. But I don't think if Ellen had just taken a table for himself the entire night, the only it would just have been that's the venture error, all right.
Yeah, Vin asks why she wants to do that, and Shan dangles a fruit in front of Ven that she would let her be a part of her company and teach her how to be civil. And all she has to do just honestly, tell her.
Shan is one of those people who only know court life.
Yeah.
And cannot fathom even the idea of civilized nobility outside of Luthadel.
Yeah, 100% so.
She literally says uncultured simpleton. Which admittedly, the uncultured part is technically true.
Yeah. Anyway, Vin compares her to Cayman, and
which still ouch.
Yeah. When she does see Sans predatory ways, and that is exactly why she makes the comparison. Though obviously she complies and goes on with the talking to her. Yeah, Shan asks her about her conversations with Ellen, and Vin goes to respond, but this is again where Vin's training comes into effect, and she realizes that Shan is using allomancy to manipulate her emotions.
However, she's probably just revealed herself as someone who can spot that stuff. Yeah.
I don't think she doesn't outright mention it, but she does resist it. Yeah.
The thing is, she's actually accidentally made herself more interesting to the greater nobility.
Yeah.
Because if they realize she's a Mistborn, they suddenly know why Renew brought her to Luthadel.
I mean, they don't really know she's a Mistborn yet. Maybe a Misting, definitely.
If you put together the pewter thing, and the fact that they couldn't tell she was burning pewter, together with her immediately spotting that someone is a soother,
yeah,
and quickly able to stop herself from responding to it, that's probably enough for someone skilled enough to spot she's a Mistborn. And it provides the perfect explanation for why Lord Renew would bring this random cousin over.
Yeah, definitely. You would need someone to protect you, and a Mistborn is probably the greatest protector out there.
And it might also completely Kelsey's plan.
Yeah, thankfully, I don't think anyone realizes, at least not in the next two chapters.
No, but it might come back to bite them. But there's also no way to avoid this.
Yeah.
Unless it's a deliberate starving Vin of metals prior to a ball.
Yeah. To be fair, Vin does, while she realizes that she's being manipulated, she does tell Shan almost everything that she and Ellen talk about, eliminating some of the more incriminating stuff, obviously. But then she,
I mean, the big thing is that Vin opened her mouth to respond, but something felt wrong. And even that slightest thought, that would take a few seconds.
Yeah, 100%. To be fair, we know that even haze killers might be trained to spot.
It's possible.
Yeah.
But if someone has noticed the combination of things, they know by now.
Yeah, 100% so.
There's no you're not gonna spot steel and iron push stuff at a wall. That no.
Yeah.
But soothing, rioting, and tin and pewter, that stuff is going to be noticed.
Yeah, easily. Vin then obviously, while he's talking to Shan, notices that Shan's steward, her talisman, is ruffling through the books that Ellen brought. And she immediately stops the conversation and goes back to her.
Yes, with the worst excuse I've heard in a while.
Yeah.
And I've heard excuses from my bosses lately, and they were shit.
Anyway. Yeah. She goes back to her table and the talisman moves away. So she tries to see what the talisman was looking for. And
yes,
this is where she comes across.
And it's a book with the most boring title in the universe.
I mean, fair enough, given the contents of the book.
Northern Dominance. Well, yes, but it's also like the only people who would want to read that book are farmers and merchants.
Yeah. Especially
maybe if you're going on a
you're not really
campaign.
going to, you're not going to Northern Dominance often, especially not on nobility in Luthadel, unless...
No, but Alan seems smart enough to disguise the book as something innocuous.
Yeah, that's like exactly, that. Yeah.
So there's a good chance that, for instance, House Venture has a lot of stuff in the Northern Dominance by chance. And that's why he chose that.
Yeah. We don't really know where they are from, right? We just know they have been in...
We don't. They're called based in Luthadel, but we do know they've branched out to everywhere. So
yeah.
Also, I just realized how long we've been recording already. This is going to be a long one.
Yeah, it's going to be a long one. This is an interesting book because it talks about cover-ups that are only remembered by metal minds or fairy chemists or in banned texts. And Vin quickly puts it down, thinking about the obligators, what would they think, and wonders why Ellen is reading such a book.
Yeah, this is very critical of the Lord Ruler.
Yeah. We do learn that some of the books have been banned. Maybe not this one, but definitely there are books that have been banned over the years.
And this one isn't outright banned because it doesn't outright call for an uprising.
No.
It's just been left to starve on the vine.
Yeah, we do learn of someone, visit in the next chapter, where they were hanged to death.
The author was eventually hanged.
Yeah, and they were ritually killed, even though they never abused allomancy at all.
I never spoke blasphemous words about.
Because we know that the ritual killing is reserved for people who misuse allomancy. So to use such a method for someone who is very critical of you is definitely a statement. Anyway, Ellen then comes over and collects his book and has a little back and forth.
Let's first point out that Vin is not doing a good job of hiding that she's a Mistborn at this point.
Oh, no.
Ellen, there's a hand on her shoulder, and she immediately burns pewter and copper. Oh, come on.
Yeah. Anyway.
But I do like where this goes then.
Yeah, they talk about dancing, and then Ellen goes off with two people who we learn are from... Yeah, go ahead.
I do find... Sorry. What was it? I can't remember. No, I've lost my train of thought. Yeah,
so Ellen goes off with two people who we learn that they are from houses Lekal and Hastings, which we later learn are the political rivals of House Venture. And says that when he sees this, he's very surprised. Obviously, then
I do find it one thing important that I want to know is that Ellen outright teases her.
Yeah, about dancing.
Proper teasing. Not in a, being mean about it teasing, but proper teasing.
Yeah.
And I feel like Ellen doesn't really find people who are interesting at these balls.
I mean, that's definitely the case, given how he likes to stay away from most people and it keeps on reading. But the fact that he even interacts with Vin definitely tells us that Vin has piqued his curiosity, because he's not the kind of person who would give up on his tasks just to because we do learn that he likes to pretend to be rude, so he doesn't really care about what others think of him. So just the fact that he talks to Vin obviously tells us that he is somewhat interested in her. Yeah. Then Caesar and Vin go away, and this is where Vin she sees one of the Scar child being executed right outside the keep. Just for and his crime was begging from the nobility, nothing major.
Not even having stolen anything or
which is,
I'll be honest, this was difficult to listen to.
yeah, it's very like barbaric. And Vin wonders
that's exactly the word that is applicable to this.
Yeah.
The nobility likes to call the Scar uncultured, and those nobility from outside Lustel uncultured. This is uncultured.
Yeah.
This is brutality for brutality's sake.
Yeah. This obviously again shatters like the curtain that was over Vin's eyes about nobility. Like she wonders if anyone saw that, and if they did, why are they not responding? And are they just so disheartened? Like, are they just so apathetic towards the condition of Scar?
Yes.
Yeah.
The answer is yes.
Obviously, yeah, we know that. But Vin obviously had this like rose-centered view of the nobility that she was getting inside the ballroom. But now, definitely, like she knew how brutal the nobility were, but this is what reminds her why she's here and why like Kelsey and the others are doing what they're doing. And yeah, this is where she goes off to her manor. Epigraph. In the epigraph, the author talks about the Terrace philosophers and how Quan is very different from them, as he doesn't really exude that kind of wisdom or like religious scholarship that the others do. And the author marvels at how Quan came to be the one to discover the hero of ages.
Yeah.
Like he compares Quan to himself, where he also has this imposter syndrome. And seeing Quan, who's very different from others, just heightens that.
Yeah, it's an interesting one.
Yeah, there's not really much to say here, just the authors.
But the more we do learn, I can definitely see why the Lord Ruler turned against the Terrace people.
Yeah.
Like in every way of this, he's getting more negative about them, in my opinion.
Definitely so.
And it's only the Terrace people that I mentioned most of the time.
Yeah, because he's interacting mostly with Terrace people, so obviously that would make sense. Chapter 19 begins with Kelsier dumping the body of a nobleman into the grounds of Keep Tequil.
It starts with him being on the outside of the keep and keeping an eye on things, whilst also planning to plant a body.
Yeah, we do learn that the houses have like increased their defenses and are keeping a fair few more allomancers just to stop break-ins. Yeah,
they are getting very nervous if there's 5 tin eyes watching over it.
Yeah, Kelsier does say that.
Out of like, there's going to be others out there, thugs, coin shots, and lurchers.
Yeah,
that alone tells you, okay, the nobility is on the edge.
Yeah, especially
it's not going to take all that much.
Yeah, especially with what Kelsier does now. They're going to be on edge.
It's also because nobody will be easily able to figure out what exactly happened.
Yeah, like Kelsier does list a fair few points, and all of which basically help his cause of sowing chaos between the nobility. Like,
yeah, the only thing he needs is chaos, which he's gonna get with this.
Yeah, like he dumps the body of Lord Entron, I believe, who was a political ally of House Tequil, into the grounds of House Tequil. So naturally, the discovery of this corpse. But first of all, it will be discovered by the like servants, and also it won't be easily covered up. And
no, because if it's the servants who find it, there is no covering it up.
Yeah.
Because unless you murder all the Scar, but by the time you start murdering them, it spreads amongst the staff.
Yeah, and naturally it will cast suspicion on the rivals of like House Tequil, which will own House Isenry. Yeah.
Isenry.
Yeah, that's the one difference between reading and listening.
Yeah, and Geffenry.
Yeah, we learned that Geffenry is trying to persuade House Tequil into making stronger alliances. So he might be the one to sort of not threaten, but
yeah, but what also is important is that Cruz Jeffenry is a known Mistborn.
Yeah.
Which is also probably, once that news breaks out, that will also put the houses on edge because a Mistborn has been ransacking the keeps.
Yeah. Yeah, it will put like a direct target on Cruz Jeffenry, at least.
Yeah. He's not going to be visiting any noble houses soon.
No, definitely not. Yeah, Kelsey does say that there might be a third option of them just wondering it's a third party who's trying to show this content, which, again, works in his favor.
It will not help matters because the houses are already on edge.
Yeah.
And I wonder if the next time we refer to a ball, it might have been after another ball, and Vin mentions there were fewer people there.
Yeah, definitely. Like, people would try to move out of the hotel if a house were swimming.
There's going to come a point, but the invitations for Vin to come to balls will only come from those houses more aligned with Venture.
Yeah, definitely, which would make sense.
Vin's thing of saying Ellen is her guide is going to cut them off.
Yeah.
But she also did not have another option available.
Yeah,
Ellen had parked himself at her table.
Yeah, she had to lessen the intimidation that the other houses are feeling from her.
Yeah, because
at this point.
Yeah, because it's a case of because they were all too intimidated. Because it's the heir to the most powerful of the noble houses is sitting at the table.
Yeah.
Basically, the plan is getting screwed because of Ellen, which is probably not helping Kelsey's opinion of him.
No, definitely not. We'll see what Kelsey thinks of.
I mean, I will also point out, Kel, how are you going to stop those two from interacting when Sazed can't intervene?
Yeah. That is. I mean, we'll see what it tells Vin later on. Anyway.
Yeah, something she's not going to listen to.
Yeah, Kelsey then checks his watch, and he is carrying metal this time around.
No. He's not.
No, he does say that he doesn't like to carry metal, but he's carrying his watch.
But he's hidden the pocket watch.
Yeah.
He says he landed on a peaked roof, retrieved his pocket watch from a nook to check the time, then stowed it.
Yeah.
Clearly back in the nook.
Yeah.
He doesn't. The only metal on him is his coin pouch.
Yeah. Which, to jump off.
The only reason he has that thing there is because he needs to be on time for something.
Yeah, and we learn what he has to be on time on, where he pretends to be a nobleman and goes and meets
first a nobleman and then a scar.
Yeah, he's doing it
wearing a fake beard.
Yeah. Anyway, he goes and meets Hoyt, which is a Scar informant. And this is... It's not really a spoiler, because this is one thing I do know about Cosmere, is that Hoyt is a character that appears in almost every one of his books. Just like... I don't know
that's just a recurring character name then.
Yeah. I don't know if it's the same character, if it's just a name that isn't recurring, or if it what his is like role in the major like multiverse or universe of this. But I just know that this character named Hoyt appears in almost every single one of his books. Which is very...
that might just be a fun way of using this, being a cheeky thing.
Yeah, definitely seems to be.
It might also be a Watcher from Marvel. Situation.
Yeah. Anyway, Kelsey then goes on to meet Hoyt, and Kelsey thinks that he's either very successful or very wasteful, given he was smoking tobacco.
And from the information he gives, it's successful.
Definitely.
He's got information really quickly.
Yeah. Like, Vin spread the rumor not even like a couple hours ago, and at this point, he knows the information. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing about stuff about what House Renew is doing, that's not really important.
No. That's just Kelsey asked that because he wants to know
he wants
if
to see. Yeah, he wants to see if the army is still secure.
Yeah, definitely. So if his plan is going smoothly.
But it's also what I also really find interesting is that Lord Renew is considering a union between Lady Valette and Lord Ellen, and I immediately went, okay. And then came the thing about him talking about Vin with his friends.
And that is
point,
interesting.
I definitely got to the point of, oh, he is definitely more interested in her in another way.
Yeah.
He spoke highly of the girl. That does seem to indicate that they're like, And considering everything we got from Vin and what Vin did, that is not an indication of a possible union.
No, yeah.
So that must become from Ellen talking very much about her.
Yeah, I mean, Ellen does find her intriguing. So, and see, that's the thing. This information, Ellen has gone off with his friends, like currently. So I don't know if this information that he gives about Ellen, talking about highly about Vin, is like right now or from earlier, which at that point he has only met Vin once.
At which point it gets even more interesting.
Yeah. Quite fascinating. Anyway, he obviously, we learned that Renew, the usual stuff about Renew, that he is gathering a large number of weapons and armor, possibly establishing contacts with a wide variety of noble houses. Kelsier then pretends to be from one of the greater houses. Just drops enough hint for the informant to catch that he is from a greater house, obviously. And that's when
but he's also just... Well, he needs to switch to another topic because he can't be focused only on House Renew.
Yeah.
So it's very smart of Hoyt to just mention that he had that House Alariel because he has information on House Alariel, and it's like, and I immediately went. I was like, the second I read the thing that Hoyt said, I was like, I think the next thing is going to be Vin annoyed at everything she's saying. Kelsey already knows.
Yeah, and that's exactly what happens.
Because that's exactly what happens.
Anyway. Kelsier.
But also, I just like how I love how it's like, yes, I discovered this one. There was a house fire, a fire at Keep Alariel. And because, oh yeah, I started that one.
Yeah. He is disappointed that it didn't get too far.
He's disappointed it's just only the guardhouses.
Yeah. Anyway.
It does also show just how good Kelsier is.
Yeah, we do get a crumb of like House Alariel being paranoid that there's going to be a house war, and which is why San Alariel is now openly recruiting and using her allomancy, which she has hidden her allomancy for like, 25 years for that at this point, however old she is. And now for her to be in the open, and
it says a lot about the state of the nobility.
Definitely so.
And then Kelsey's just like, there is a character in a D&D podcast I really like who's the embodiment of chaos.
Basically, Kelsey, yeah, he sows his
literally what Kelsey's doing here.
Yeah, he sows his own fake rumors and then jumps to it.
2 fake rumors. He starts 2 fake rumors.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh dear.
Yeah. Anyway, then obviously Kelsier goes off and pretends to be a Scar, and
does everything to get him to look. Yeah. Well, he goes like, okay, I'm not dirty enough.
Yeah. No, he puts on torn clothes. He changes his clothes.
No, he takes off the nobility's clothing, and underneath is the torn clothing.
Okay, yeah, fair.
He's also not stupid enough to keep the Mistborn cloak on.
Yeah, and obviously then he basically rubs ash all over himself just to appear, which is quite a funny visual. Like, we know that the ash fall is continuous and the scar are always
but it gives the vision of the stereotypical medieval peasant.
Yeah, it's It's
instead of mud and manure, it's ash.
Yeah, it's basically that scene from oh my god, Monty Python and the Holy Grail with Arthur going and talking to them.
Yes. Ladies in the lake and all that.
Yeah. Anyway,
great. We recently did a watch party with friends of that film.
It's amazing.
We're doing Life of Brian next.
Yeah, Life of Brian is also pretty good. Life of Brian is so good
Anyway,
it was banned in Sweden.
What did the Romans ever do for us?
Except for this and that and this and that.
And this and this and this and this and this and this. Anyway, back to this book. We have had so many tangents yet again.
Monty Python is a good tangent.
We are good at tangent. Yeah.
Anyway, he then obviously gives Venture a half-true information about House Aracle selling arms to House Tequila at a lower price. Well, he says at half price.
He said half the price, which is very clear because it's not true.
Mm-hmm.
But it is exactly the type of exaggerated rumor you'd expect to get from an informer.
Yeah. We learned that Staff Venture is a tinai, and that House Venture doesn't really rely on a specific industry to make their money, which is an odd thing in the Final Empire, that you don't really have a specific industry.
But it makes sense for one of the great houses.
Yeah, it does make sense for a great house.
Especially if the ventures are supposed to be the most powerful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, given we don't really know how long they have been a great house, but if you want longevity as a great house, you need to branch out, and that seems to be what the
you need to diversify.
Yeah. And then Staff Venture asks Kelsier about Kelsier.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I will say this: when it comes to like a house needs to branch out its different interests to survive. Yeah, companies need to do that too.
Yeah, definitely so.
Philips wouldn't have been a successful company if they'd stuck with light bulbs.
No, definitely not.
But,
yeah, I mean,
when they switched to all other electronics, they became a giant, and now they're discarding all of that. They're not that much.
Yeah, there are always like most companies in the world do more than one thing, obviously. So that
I mean, you get that with military defense companies. You get that with car companies.
Mm-hmm.
Like no car company that is completely on its own, unless it's a very small luxury brand, focuses on a single type of car.
Yeah, definitely so. Then Kelsier is asked about himself, and he tries to downplay the rumors, saying that Lord Ruler will not allow such.
He's just like, I mean, it's even more so. He's in his mental state at this point. Shit.
And he tries to basically say that Lord Ruler will not allow such like oversights of letting someone escape the pits and live.
Yes.
Venture
but
also.
Then we get the first of. But then we get at the end. The first of two very intriguing bits of information. Assuming the survivor did die in the pits, and if someone had gotten a hold of his corpse, his bones, there are ways to imitate a man's appearance.
Yeah,
and at the end of the next section, we get another bit.
Yeah, which is definitely seems to be the thing that we are looking for with regards to Lord Renault. Anyway.
Yeah. Kelsier
also tries to place off the rumors of like 11th metal as just legends from far off.
Yes, he's basically going. Yeah. He's going shit.
Yeah. Anyway, Schaff asks him to keep an eye out for the like rumors about Kelsier, and leaves
without paying.
Yeah.
Which that's such an ability move.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, this interaction starts with Staff Venture beating Kelsier for being late, which again, if you want information out of someone, I would advise against beating them.
Yes, but he's the most powerful noble in the realm.
Fair. Yeah. Yeah. Scar have to eat, I guess. Anyway. Kelsier then goes back to Mansion Renault and
and we learn the name of the path between cities. It's the Spikeway.
Spikeway, yeah. Which these are spikes.
Good thing, yeah, but also it's probably a good thing there are multiple things in every location because a certain lady took one of the pieces away a few chapters ago.
Yeah.
And this is why there are backups.
Yeah. Anyway.
But I just like the image that every Mistborn has their own preferred path between the two.
Yeah.
And at one point, one of the Mistborn just went...
To be fair, they do know where the copper plates are because they can see them.
Well, yes, but it's still a very funny image. That if a Mistborn is so used to it being the same path always, they'd probably be going blind.
Yeah, definitely so. And Kelsier even wonders,
if they know the path,
what would happen if he meets another Mistborn while on the Spikeway, and he just says that they'll ignore each other.
If you're not careful, it's a bonk.
Yeah. Anyway,
that can't be very healthy for you, crashing into someone at those speeds.
Yeah.
Because they're going quickly.
Yeah, easily. Lord Renaud then asks Kelsier about his evening. Kelsier says that...
Oh, no. Vin immediately says, that's a new look for you. while still in her red dress. So she hasn't immediately gotten out of her dress.
Yeah, Kelsier even wonders.
She has decided, screw this. Legs underneath me. Screw this.
Yeah.
She does not want... She wants to rest. But she's no longer immediately taking off the nobility's clothing.
Yeah, she's feeling more and more comfortable with the clothing, obviously. It makes sense.
Fitting,
it's been
yeah, but it's fitting that I'm wearing this then.
Yeah.
Considering I do not wear this stuff normally.
Well, I'll
give me a good polo shirt.
Yeah.
You only wear those.
Yeah, I only wear this. If you'll never catch me without a good shirt. Never. I detest t-shirts and polo shirts and whatnot. Anyway.
Well, my entire wardrobe is pretty much t-shirts and polo shirts.
Yeah. Anyway. Lord Renaud then asks Kelsier about his evening, and Kelsier says that House Renaud is free of suspicion, which makes sense, but the noble houses are beginning to catch on to Kelsier. Which, if you hold your meetings like how you did last chapter openly, yeah.
To be fair, that's why he also immediately spread like the thing of it's not the actual survivor.
Yeah. Which again, we'll see. Kelsier then says that he gets confused by play acting when someone asks him about himself, and he doesn't know how Renaud does it. To which Renaud replies that is basically what I am. Or it is what I am.
It is who I am.
Yeah.
The Kandra, said simply.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh, we have a name for this.
Yeah. It's never mentioned again throughout this chapter. It's just this one line. And the Kandra mentions. Anyway.
I'm actually trying this because it's the only time we've heard a discussion about this from Kel's point of view.
Definitely so.
On this subject.
Yeah. Especially so openly, 100%.
But also, and then we get to the say what I meant, because Sazit knew everything already. Kel already knew certain things, and Vin thinks her role was useless. What I also like is Sazit underplays how annoyed Vin is.
Yeah.
Mistress Vin is a tad annoyed.
Yeah.
and Vin snaps.
Yeah, Kelsier does say that it is okay. It'll take some time for her to integrate into the high society and make people comfortable enough to share openly around her, which makes sense.
It's almost like Kelsey's folly messed up the plan.
Yeah. Caesar then tells Kelsier about Elend, and Kelsier asks Vin about the rumors that she started inadvertently, obviously, and says that everyone will probably think that Venture is stockpiling weapons, which is probably good for us, I guess. Vin does say that she didn't mean it to get so far, but obviously that's how Rumours spells.
But he does warn Rue that he needs to be careful with dealing with Venture.
Yeah, easily. Caesar then tells Kelsier about Elend leaving with the two people from Lekal and Hastings, and Kelsier asks Caesar to investigate further.
Not Hastings.
Hastings, okay. Whatever.
It's House Lekal and Hastings.
Yeah, Lekal and Hastings. I don't know why I had Hastings at there. Anyway.
Kelsier, because there's a place called Hastings.
The Battle of Hastings, yes. There is a battle called Battle of Hastings.
Bello Hastings. I can get where you're coming from, buddy.
Yeah.
It is Hastings.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was confused. Anyway, Kelsier asks him to investigate further and leaves the room, but Vin follows him, obviously, because she didn't really want to talk about this thing.
I think open. Vin is a bit annoyed that says it at this point.
Yeah, you can say
that. But also, says it is not the person to talk about this.
And then, I mean, to be fair, I think Caesar would know more about this than Kelsier does, definitely.
Yes, but it's not just about what Ellen was reading.
Yeah.
And Caesar already knows the part a good chunk of what they discussed.
Yeah.
So
we learned that the book Ellen was reading is called the Book of False Dawn.
That's the title.
Yeah. I mean, this is the exact kind of title I would expect from an expose about Lord Ruler and like his rule. And he then tells us how the author was basically murdered. Ritual killed by the obligators. And then
Deleuze couvre.
Yeah, again, I can't pronounce the name.
I know it's not correct, but Deleuze makes me think of delusional and of cœur, which is heart in French, delusional heart.
Likely. I mean, maybe that's where it comes from. I don't really know.
It's not the origin of that. I'm pretty sure of it. It's just funny.
Yeah, definitely so. And then Finn tells Kelsier about Shan Ilariel and asks if the books are dangerous, to which Kelsier says that Lord Ruler sometimes ignores these things because banning books is tricky. So even Lord Ruler doesn't ban books, which some of the world readers should learn about it, I guess. Anyway, Lord Ruler is also more lenient with nobility compared to Scar, obviously. So he lets them get away with such things at times. And Kelsier does say that if Ellen is reading this book, he might have other books which will make him a target of the Inquisitors. And Kelsier delights at the fact that he wants to make it certain that Ellen is discovered by Inquisitors in possession of such books, to which Bind
she's not pleased.
Yeah.
She is not best pleased.
Anyway, Vin shudders, and then Kelsier thinks that he should have forbidden Vin from falling for any member of the high society. And he uses the term vultures for them, which is interesting.
I mean, Kel's opinions on the nobility.
Yeah.
I get where he's coming from. But he's going about it the wrong way.
Yeah,
he's completely unwilling to even remember that his crew consists of people who would be considered criminals.
I mean, yes, he himself was probably the biggest criminal before he was caught. And so, yeah. To be fair, Kelsier would brand themselves rebels. And we'll arrive at the age-old question of someone's rebels or someone else's terrorists.
But I do think that it's basically going down to Kel does not trust even a single noble.
Yeah.
And he's not even willing to entertain the idea. He outright dismisses the things that Ellen was talking about. He's not willing to consider the possibility that his intellectual interest might then turn into compassionate interest.
Yeah. When asked him that maybe Ellen could help us, Kelsier says to not count on it.
It also just there were a chunk of people who supported the abolition of slavery, who very much had money which came from slavery.
Yeah. I mean,
it feels very similar.
Yeah.
But Kel is completely unwilling to consider it. Also, considering the time period, the type of thing this takes place in, it makes complete sense.
Yeah.
But Kel is completely unwilling to even consider the idea.
Yeah, he basically tells Vin to not spend too much time on it and that it'll put their operation in jeopardy, which, again, I see where Kelsier is coming from, but again...
I see where Kelsier is coming from, but the thing is, nothing that Vin is doing should be able to lead them back to the crew.
Yeah.
Vin is not the biggest security risk.
No, definitely not.
Kelsier is the biggest security risk at this point.
Yeah, because at least Kelsier's name is known by the great houses, and if the word that he's
people,
alive gets
the only
out.
people, like the Inquisitors know her name.
Yeah,
via Cayman and via the fact that Kel literally yelled "Vin, run." But nobody knows that Valette is Vin.
Yeah, that is exactly it. Yeah,
I don't think that's going to be revealed easily.
Definitely not until Kelsier reveals himself. Like, until they learn of the plan, definitely there will be no...
Yeah, we do know that Kel has a secret plan he's not even willing to think about.
Do we think it's of killing the Lord Ruler? Because that would be too easy. Why would it not be mentioned?
The fact that he's not willing to think about it. I mean, he did mention he's not quite sure about mind reading, but it also feels like something that Mike Schubert tends to joke about. It's Chiron with the shield of plot.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we don't really know what alternative plans Kelsier is thinking of, which, again, something I'm not quite fond of when you're reading in like these perspectives. First person, like this is basically in their head perspective. We know of their thoughts, but then we don't know what plans they're making.
The thing is, I can understand it.
In this case, yes. I do think in this case
he's thinking about this as he's doing something else, and he doesn't want to get distracted by the idea.
Yeah,
and that we then don't hear much else about it also makes sense.
Yeah, I do think that in this case it makes sense because we are jumping from perspective to perspective. So when Kelsier is thinking of it, we are not in his perspective. But especially in those books where you are in one person's head the entire time and then they don't mention the plan, that just seems stupid.
I feel like you're talking about the first chunk of the Last Olympian.
Yes.
I knew that was going to come up. I think that one works.
It works.
It works.
It's very early on the book.
Percy's nervous about it.
Percy's nervous about it, and it's very early on in the book.
Of it. He doesn't want to consider the idea because he himself isn't sure about it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's only sure about doing it after Beckendorf gets blown to smithereens.
Which is still the first chapter.
Which is the first chapter.
Yeah. Also spoilers, I guess. But no one will remember this anyway.
It's a 16-year-old book.
Again, I have seen people consider spoiler talks about Odyssey at this point, so I am not sure when and
okay, but those people are not to be taken seriously. It's the Odyssey. It is that's like saying we need spoiler warnings for Gilgamesh.
I mean, Gilgamesh
or
is older.
The Bible. Sorry, do we need to put a spoiler warning in about Jesus dies?
Yeah. In the epigraph, then the author talks about the shadow that follows him.
No, don't give to the epigraph just yet. I love Kelsey's thought at the end, which is very, oh God, I'm the parent of a teenager.
Yeah.
Because why do I suspect that staying away from him is the last thing she intends to do? Bloody hell, I don't have time to deal with it right now. And that's pure teenage parent.
Definitely. I mean, he at this point, we do know he does consider Vin as his daughter, especially after his debacle.
Gosh.
At the end of last part.
Especially after the debacle and literally describing what he would have liked a daughter with mad to look like. At which point he's just describing Vin.
Yeah, basically. Then they go off to sleep, and that's where the chapter ends. We do have the epigraph, where the author talks about the shadows that follows him. We have seen this before in the previous one of the previous epigraphs, and at least the author figures out at this point that it is not really a shadow. It's more of a dark fog, or what he calls mist.
A mist.
Yeah.
Gosh. Mist wraiths?
Yeah, I would think so, yeah. Unless mist itself is somehow alive. But we don't really have any indication for the mist being alive yet. So mist wraiths makes more sense.
But
yeah. So it's
not really much more. It's a very short epigraph, so
yeah. I mean, we are nearing the end of we are nearing the point where Sazed might have transcribed the entire book, so translated the entire book now. So we'll get the resolution for these epigraphs quite soon. So hopefully, maybe that's why the epigraphs are getting shorter and shorter, or less detailed.
The last one was literally one of the longest we've had.
Yeah, but less detailed.
It was literally a long one.
Yeah.
I don't think you can say much about that. But yeah, that was that.
Anyway, how did you like these two chapters, and what do you expect later on?
I like them.
Yeah.
I don't really know what else you expect, because again, the job is just slowly moving along. I do feel like that there is going to be a bit of a rift between Kelsey and Vin.
Yeah, but see, they had a year's, they planned it to do it in a year, and it's been 3.5 months now.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, because 2 months for Vin to train, and then
3.5, nearly 4 months.
Yeah, nearly 4 months.
They're a third of the way through.
So where do you think this book is gonna go?
I genuinely don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not good with predictions.
Yeah, in this book, either things happen very quickly, or you get chapters like these where character moments happen. So it progresses very much. There's not consistent pace, but there's enough of it that you don't really know where it will end. It could be character moments here on out, or plot moments, and then you get to resolution very quickly. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
So with that, see you next time for the next chapters. And bye-bye.
Bye-bye.